Rivers State Governor Siminalayi Fubara has revealed that some commissioners who recently resigned from his cabinet left no records in their ministries. Fubara, while swearing in 8 new commissioners who were confirmed members of the State House of Assembly on Tuesday, said after the former commissioners left, government officials started looking for some records that they could not find in their ministries. 9 commissioners resigned recently following the standoff between the present governor, Fubara, incumbent governor, and his estranged political godfather. Now, Mr. Zoe, what is your take on this revelation by the governor that the commissioners that resigned recently left no records, or some records were not found in their ministries?
Well, this is not something that is expected for the governor to bring to the public. And I would say this is happening because the governor have not actually assumed, exercise his powers as a executive governor of the state. What I see the governor doing is doing try and error thing. And it's not good for him as a governor. The governor should be decisive within the confines of the powers available to him. Should be decisive, should take actions according to the laws. But what he's doing is try and error. How can you come and tell the public that commissioners, what powers have commissioners to go away with government public documents? They don't have to. And there are procedures. He can reach out to them through the PAM secretary, write to them. If they don't, there are processes, they can be arrested for going away with public documents. So the governor should not be, what does he expect the public to do in such circumstances? These are administrative matters that the governor can handle. So coming to tell us that commissioners left with documents have been looked for in ministries where commissioners left, for me, it's of no use. The governor should be taking actions and acting like governor. What he's doing is try and error, and that try and error in the circumstances we have is not good for him. For example, he's doing try and error. Look at, he's supposed to dissolve the entire cabinet of the Executive Council. He dissolve the entire cabinet and appoint new set of people who are interested to work with you. For how many months he has been with commissioners that are not with him? Commissioners that are working for the outgone governor in his cabinet. Where does that happen? So he's taking a lot that are not necessary. He should be able to dissolve the entire cabinet. What is he doing, bringing 3 people today, swearing in 1 commissioner tomorrow? It doesn't make sense. Go ahead and dissolve the entire cabinet, because you have been complaining that there are saboteurs in your executive. Why will you be working with saboteurs? It's not good for you as a governor. It's not good for the state. So dissolve the entire cabinet, appoint people, and at this point, fortunately, the crisis have created an opportunity for the governor to be in charge. So he doesn't hold any political godfather here and there. Nobody. The people who have come to work with him are people who have been, marginalized by the former governor. Okay, they are the people who have come to him. So they'll also be loyal to him. They are not coming to decide or dictate to him. So he has every power, every freedom to choose. And if I should advise the governor, he should go beyond politics now in constituting his executive council. Look for experienced people. There are many in the academies. We have about 3 or 2, more than 3 higher institutions in the state. The Ajuro, the US, even the University of Port Harcourt, and even the polytechnics. Go there, look for experience, competent, those who have the character, the courage, and the experience. And by the time you bring such characters, such personalities into your cabinet, the public will now begin to look at you as a governor who is serious. The public will now begin to develop trust in the system. Right now, there is no trust. Right now, people are confused, in the direction the governor is taking. Some people will say, he has made a statement today. You don't know what he will say tomorrow. The governor should come out from all those kind of speculations, okay, and be decisive. So if he does that, there is no need coming to tell us that documents are missing because commissioners leave. Where did they go to? They are in the state. They can get them and get those documents.
All right. So you have made some strong statements, and as well in your statements, you also made some allegations. Now, let's start with the first allegation. You said that the governor has been working with people who and not working with him. Now, the question would be, has the governor at any point in time, called out any commissioner and accused the commissioner of being a saboteur or not working with him? That's on one hand. Now, do not forget that these commissioners, when they resigned, had some statements to make with respect to their work environment. Some commissioners cited toxic workplace as reason for resignation. Now, on the other hand, the Attorney General of the state, Professor Adango, when he resigned, you would recall, aside citing the toxic workplace, he also cited interference by the governor in the discharge of his duties. Would you call that sabotage in any way?
First, your first question. Of course, the governor has been crying out that there are saboteurs in his government. He has said that over and over again. But going to Professor Dango is unfortunate. With due respect to the professor, who is also a colleague, a very senior colleague that I have a lot of respect for. But that his statement is an indictment on himself. Knowing as a lecturer, you should know your employee. Why will he say interference? What do you mean by interference? You are an employee of the governor, okay? And the governor, who is your employer, have the rights, absolute right to give you guidance, to direct you what you should. In fact, you are there for the governor. So you do the dictates of the governor. Anyway, within the confines of the law anyway, it is only when the governor is going outside the laws, okay? His actions are contrary to the constitution. That is where, even at that, you don't have powers to stop him, but you can draw his attention, okay? No, this is what the law says, and that's why you are the Attorney General. But for you to come and say interference, who else? Why wouldn't you expect interference? You are working for the governor. For example, I hire a builder, maybe an engineer, to supervise my site. When I come and I see that, I say, no, remove this thing here. I don't want this pillar here. Let it go to this place. I should be able to decide the pace and the direction of the building. So for Professor Dango to be saying that there are interference is an unfortunate statement. It's a way of he was looking for a way to malign the government, to bring the governor into bad light in the public. But we know all these gimmicks they are playing. It's unfortunate for him to say that. If you are employed by the governor, you should do what the governor says, except the governor is going outside the law. And he didn't give any reference to that is an interference, where the governor is acting contrary to the constitution. So there are saboteurs in the government, and if the governor has been complaining about that, he should take action.
When the governor was complaining about saboteurs in his government, did he...
He is referring to the commissioners. Over time, he has been... No, not speculation. Go and watch the videos, they are all there. He has always been talking. He talked about this Attorney General, the former Attorney General. He talked about him, who was taking government information to go and give to the other camp, who was going to court to speak against government. He has been saying it. His commissioners is referring to. Who will be saboteurs in his government, apart from the people he has employed as commissioners, who are in the executive council with him, who have government secrets. Right. So the point is, he should take drastic and decisive action according to the law. There are two basic things, okay, to sustain and protect the office of the governor. Okay? Now, those two basic things are: one, the law. Two, the people. The law legalizes your actions. The people legitimize the legal actions you have taken. And these two things are on the side of the governor. So I don't see why he's wasting time in taking governance to the next level by taking the decisive actions.
All right, let's look at the statement of Professor Adango, which partly reads, he said, "I wish to state for the record that I am no longer willing to continue to serve in the administration of His Excellency Sir Siminalayi Fubara, GSSRS, Governor of Rivers State, in any capacity whatsoever. It is important to mention that the Governor of Rivers State had in the past couple of weeks, willfully interfered with the performance of my duties as the Honorable Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice, Rivers State, by directing me," please, you need to listen to this
I'm
carefully.
listening.
Yes. "By directing me not to defend, oppose, or appear in suits insinuated against the Honorable Attorney General and the government of Rivers State by persons admittedly hired and sponsored by the government of Rivers State. This statement, this is part of his statement.
This is also an indictment on the professor himself. As a government official, should he come out with such information? These are supposed to be secret documents, but be that
secret document.
Official document. Now, be that as it may, whichever way you look at it, the governor have the absolute rights within the confines, because I'm a man of rule of law. Anything you're doing must be within the confines of the law.
Okay.
So the governor have that right to tell the Attorney General, do not defend this case. Don't defend this case or defend this case. That is not an issue to deal with. But for him to come out and levy an allegation that the government is sponsoring people a suit against the government, it doesn't make sense. Besides, let me find out, is he one of the ministers who resigned and came back? If he is, he doesn't even have the credibility to tell us all this.
Now, Mr. Zori,
unfortunately, with due respect to the professor.
Now, interestingly, you know, in the course of our discourse, you have, you know, admittedly said that the accusations by the governor is valid.
Very valid.
And it stands. And you said there are no speculations around it. And when I asked you to mention some of the commissioners, that the governor, hold on, when I asked you to mention some of the commissioners that you claim the governor has accused as saboteurs, you have not mentioned any commissioners.
I have mentioned one now. This commissioner is one of them.
No. You said you didn't mention any.
I am mentioning it now that this commissioner is one of them. Of course, you can see his statement. This is sabotaging the government.
Hold on. You did not mention any. Now, you said that Professor Adango, you know, with due respect to him as
as a professor and a very senior colleague that we respect in our profession.
You had your reservations about his resignation, and you questioned his credibility and also downplayed the reasons for his resignation. Now, I have read the words of Professor Adango. These are his reasons. He cited interference. You're saying that his reasons, the interference he talked about, is sabotage. But the governor's accusation is not sabotage. Isn't that double standard?
No, it's not double standard. See, the word interference doesn't come in this case.
Because it's
you are working, yes, you're an employer. Why will you say your employer is interfering?
All right.
Your employer sets the rules.
Let me read the statement on interference again. He said, it is important to mention that the governor of Rivers State had in the past couple of weeks willfully interfered with the performance of my duties as the Honorable Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice, Rivers State, by directing me not to defend, oppose, or appear insinuated against the Honorable Attorney General and the government of Rivers State by persons admittedly hired and sponsored by the government of Rivers State. Now, in this particular statement, he mentioned suits insinuated against his person as the Honorable Attorney General of the state. He is involved directly. He's a respondent in these matters. And you're saying it is justified for the governor to tell him not to appear to defend or oppose the suits?
Yes.
Make it make sense to me.
Yes. In the first place, I repeat myself. The word interference does not come in this case. If you say the governor directs me, fine. But who else do you expect to interfere in your duty apart from your employer? That is one. Secondly, it was not Professor Adango that was sued in that case. It was the office of the Attorney General. And the governor
who was occupying the office of the Attorney General?
Yes. So yes, it's an official capacity, not the individual.
Who was
it was the professor. It was the professor. But in the capacity as Attorney General, not Professor Adango.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Now that he has resigned, whenever this matter comes up,
it doesn't have to do with him. It goes to the next Attorney General.
Who was a participant in that suit? when they said the office of the Attorney General,
yes,
was his name not mentioned?
His name will be mentioned.
And when that, during the time of that activity, or whatever gave rise to that suit,
yes,
who was occupying that position?
And it's
and
the professor.
To give account
See,
of what happened?
we have to clarify things. It is different. You as Choma is different from you as Choma as NTA anchor person. Okay, so if there's an issue in this office that has to do with you, it's in your official capacity. It doesn't have to. If they come to arrest you now, they arrest you based on staff of the network. Okay, they can't come to your house and arrest the person, Shoma. So all the actions of the professor, as of then when he was the Attorney General, were in official capacity. So if he is sued, it is an official capacity. Now that he's gone, those who sue him, will they go to him? No, they will not. They will go to the next person who has taken over as Attorney General. So the governor at that point have the right to say, my Attorney General, do not defend this case or do not respond to this case. It is the discretion of the governor to say so.
Okay.